Hey, Ty Brady here with Brady Insurance Marketing in the Ty Brady Way, one of the nation's largest field marketing organizations that helps independent agents achieve a 6- and 7-figure income with the systems and strategies that I'm going to talk about with you today. Welcome back to another episode of the Ty Brady Way. And a little while ago, I interviewed you on the show, basically, what your dreams are, the company you want to run, and, your story. I want to shift from that today a little bit, and I want to talk to the audience about why is there a need in social media? Why should they tap into that? I can give you my perspective and kind of what I've seen, but, a lot of people tuning in, they're like, with social media, they shy away from it, or they get scared, or they're like, I don't want to be vulnerable. I don't want to tell my story, right? Oh, yeah. So tell me, let's start there. Why the need for social media? And social media is a lot of things, right? It's Pinterest, it's Facebook, Instagram, Indeed, all of those things where people can see you all the time. Go ahead.
Yeah. Basically, there's literally been statistics made recently that you will be out of business in the next 2 years with whatever that you do if you're not on social media, which people will look at it from like a business perspective of, oh, I've got a big company or I've got this. I don't need social media because I'm already so well known. But it's all about you and your personal brand. And every single person has the ability to have their own personal brand, and you have it. You may not be using it and not realizing the value behind it, but there's so much value in your own story and what you bring to the table that people don't know. And that's where the vulnerability and being real and open comes from. And people may think like, no one needs to hear my story. I don't want to share how
I was that way.
Yeah. I don't want to be open. I know that's all. Like, I don't want to be boastful. I don't want to end with this. Yeah. It's hard. But what's the impact we've had?
Oh, I had a guy recently, this just cracked you up. He was on my social media feed. He's like, a little conceited already. I just laughed. I didn't even respond.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just like, okay, obviously you're in a bad spot because I am trying to inspire people and motivate people, to do something, be better, be a better version of themselves.
Yeah. Well, and haters are just confused lovers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we said that already.
You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. And we love the haters anyway.
Yeah.
Because eventually they're going to want to do what you do, And there's so much. When I was building my personal brand before I owned this company, I was so open with what was happening in our life and my husband's addiction. And we were the first ones to really share about it and share our story. Still to this day, that was like 7 years ago. People are coming up to us saying, we didn't break up because you guys didn't break up. And we worked through this addiction because you guys worked through this addiction. Yeah. So right then I knew like we are given our story in order to share it. We're basically stopping God's voice if we don't share it, right?
That is so
powerful. He gave it to us for a reason.
Yeah.
And so that's where I think I'm so passionate about my job, and that because I know it's so important to share every single one of my clients' voices that they don't know how to do it themselves.
I've been watching this show, and it's about successful entrepreneurs going undercover and doing something hard, right? And they're doing it, and they do it, believe it or not, by selling their story. They may be on a false pretense of a false name, but the story's there. The one I listened to is recently was a guy successful in mortgage or loans. He's a billionaire, and dyslexic, got a girl pregnant at age 14. Those types of things. And he's like, listen, it's all possible, but it's that story that helped him in 90 days start $1 million business from scratch.
100%.
And they're just like, wow, it's just so true. So number one, you'd say that social media helps you. Don't correct me if I'm wrong. Helps you tell your story.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yes. All it is telling your story. And your story is what will build your business. No matter what it is. I can give you any single scenario. Yeah. Your story will sell your business and will make you money. But you just have to do it in the right way. You
look at like Nike, Amazon, any of these big, their stories are very, they're out there in the open. Starting to Facebook and where he came from and all of those battles and struggles. But yet look at what they were able to build and then able to help other people and help them, change people's lives for the better. Yeah. Well, do you know how like Lulu Lemon, Nike, Disney, how those brands decide what their story is? Do you know what they do? Like, tell me, enlighten me. So they come up with a person, like an actual person, like a name, an age, where their occupation is, what they're doing, like an actual person
to then an avatar, as you would say, to then be that brand. So for Lulu Lemon, I think their person's name is Ocean or something like that. And they're 27 years old. They live in New York City in a high rise, and they really care about their body. They're young, they're wealthy, and that's who they are target marketing to, right? Disney is the same thing. Nike is the same thing. They have this avatar of who their exact niche market is.
Yeah.
Right. And that's why they can have such an epic brand, because they're sticking with that niche. You have your own story. You don't need to come up with any sort of brand. You have it. It's your story, and you are who you are marketing to. You are your niche. You are your best client. You are your best. You're like, you know what I mean? Like if you would love to take someone as a recruit that's just like you, because then you're going to build them up to be where you are, right?
Absolutely.
We are our best recruit or our best client. And so that's where you have to brand you. And that's where people get so confused. They think like, oh my gosh, I need to be this specific way or this specific way, and I want to look like this. But no, you want to get rid of all of that. The more authentic you'll be, the more better you're going to be on social media, the more impact you're going to make.
I did not know that these other companies are using these avatars to be the face of their brand. But I started thinking about that as you were talking, and I like even your fast food restaurants, they have somebody or someone that's a consistent theme to sell their brand.
Yeah, right.
It's not, the story was built by somebody long ago to build the actual company themselves, but they're still telling a story. The story was built by somebody long ago to build the actual company themselves, but they're still telling a story.
And now those big brands are paying influencers to say like, I love this because, right? Because they need a different face that's not an avatar, a real face. You are that real face. We are in a prime opportunity to make a brand for yourself, because that's what.
So that we understand why now. I believe just able to tell your story. I know it took a little bit of convincing on me. And one of the things that I finally realized is somebody said, Ty, it's 24/7. It's the person at 2 a.m. that can't sleep that sees you that previously wouldn't have seen you. Or somebody that related to, I have a podcast show, right? I have Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, whatever, TikTok, all of those things. And they all serve a different purpose to try and help better people's lives.
Yeah.
And it's something that I do. I used to hate it. It was hard. It was like, now I actually enjoy it. I'm like, okay, this is a lot of fun. I love to interview people now and hear their story. And I'm like, man, I'm so inspired.
Yeah, so inspiring. And that's what you said, though, is you're changing people's lives. All these people, it's focusing on changing their lives. You're not coming at it of like, this is a lead from here. This is a lead from here. And it's that mind shift when people will be successful on social media. I have clients that they are so focused on making the money back that even though we have grown their page maybe from 0 to 10,000 real followers, they don't see the money coming back instantly. However, the lives that have been changed are insane. And it's like a crock pot. It's going to eventually be this huge thing that money is going to be filing in because you now built this solid brand.
That's an interesting point. Is I struggle when I talk to entrepreneurs is that the worst thing they ever tell me is they're afraid to invest in themselves.
Yeah.
Whether it be, going to the gym, paying money to be on social media. Not paying, but paying. Yeah, I get paid. Yes, paying to be on social media because there's a cost, right? Or time or money.
Either whether you're doing it or you're hiring.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm like, that you got to start there.
Yeah.
Otherwise you're going to sacrifice. You could do it yourself. You could go to what is it? You can go to YouTube and learn how to do it and all those things, but it takes time. And which is great. And some people are really good at it, but
the time is always so worth it.
That's right.
So worth it.
Yeah.
Like if the amount of time that I spent 7 years ago building a brand I didn't realize I was building is now this. Like I wouldn't have the company I have if I wasn't so vulnerable on social media selling a product for a network marketing company. You know what I mean? So every part of your story is so important, and that's why it needs to be out there and in people's faces. It may seem, but that face that someone's watching, they may be too afraid to be doing what they're doing if they are miserable in their lives, and you give them the courage to do so. And you may never even hear from them that you did, but I promise you are. And as you've seen, you know.
Oh, I know that I'm being watched, and I got to be really careful because I am, see monkey, do monkey type deal. And now you got to be like, okay, Ty, you can't be crazy. I like to be crazy, but you got to be you got to be okay,
Yeah.
Loud and proud is what I call it. Loud and proud.
But people love that.
Yeah. It's some people do. Some people do. Trust me. But it's hard to change. Yeah. I've tried. It's like Ty, calm, cool, and collective. How do I stay there?
Yeah. Exactly.
Calm down. So I love it. If one thing that I think people could learn from this podcast is that your story is unique to you. It is your brand, and you can make an impact. Anything else you'd like to share with the audience before we wrap this up? Social
media is so daunting, right? We may have convinced you that social media, you need to get on, right? But then you're like, okay, well, freak, now I can take a selfie.
What do I do?
Like, this is a lot. Like, hashtags, what do they mean? You've mentioned like 5 different platforms, all these things that you're on. Like, that is so overwhelming. The reason, and it's worse to not do anything than to just try and be messy, right? So if you
gotta start somewhere.
Gotta start somewhere. Just go and be messy and just start being on social media. If you can't afford to invest and to have someone do it for you, show up for yourself and just throw it all out there. Be like, hey, here I am on social media. Maybe that's it. You know what I mean? Or you're just on there and you're creating a community. But what we offer is we give people the opportunity where we give you a full brand. Yep. Everything is taken out of it besides you. You guide what we build for you. And then it's all ready for you to go. Whether you use us for 6 months, then you're like, hey, now I know exactly what I'm doing and I can go and run with it. I give you all the tools and you learn everything you need to know to go and do it yourself if you want to. Yeah. But the goal is hopefully you are so busy doing your own thing that you don't want to take that on. You know what I mean? So it's take the leap of investing in yourself, whether that's you going and learning how to do social media and all the different avenues and keeping up on it or hiring someone to do so. So, yeah.
Thank you, Whitney. I know I always throw you in there. I'm like, hey, we're going to do this today, right? Yeah, you're like, you got this. But it's definitely a different twist from what we started the last time. Last time was your story, your brand, and how you've been able to be a successful entrepreneur. But this, I think it's important that people need to understand your story is unique to you, and it makes an impact, and they need to share it.
Yeah, totally.
And it's hard.
It's hard, and I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud.
I'm past it. I'll say that it was at the time I was like reluctant. Right?
I'm not doing this, but you have impacted so many lives, and even every time I come here, I get on my story because I'm so impressed with what you do and what other people can have. That me and my team are so passionate about even sharing your story because it's huge and it's amazing. So I'm proud of you for getting out there because it's scary.
Well, thank you very much. As always, share, like, and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Ty Brady Way. As always, share, like, and subscribe. Go to Instagram at ty.r.brady. And as always, love hearing from you. And let me know what you want to learn on the show or what you'd like me to bring up on the show. Thanks.
You can find the Ty Brady Way on Instagram as well as Facebook. To stay connected with giveaways and Ty himself, go ahead and follow at ty.r.brady on Instagram as well as Facebook. This podcast was recorded, edited, and produced by Whitney Face Media Marketing. The theme music is an excerpt from Hot Chicken of the Woods by Isaac Joel.